Welcome to the Mario era, chapter 92.
No, they don't step Mario. And speaking of Mario, happy birthday to this thing 38 years ago. The 8-bit NES and Mario was born. The OG Mario, not the Hurricane Mario. It's a me. It's a Mario. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Nintendo.
Yeah. What do we have to do to get Ro? I mean, we just got these mics. I mean, what do we have to do to get Ro a mic that doesn't disappear when he's doing It's a Me?
I know it does. It doesn't want to pick
Every
up that,
time,
that
Ro,
voice.
it disappears.
It's just too high.
And I've seen this a couple times now. That It's a Me, right? It's not because he's Italian.
Nope.
That's Japanese for super.
It's a me.
It's a me.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Super Mario.
For all the people that thought like myself, it's a me. It's not that. It's a me. Super Mario. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I was today days old.
Uh-huh.
Usually,
No.
let's go.
I was
I'm
like yesterday.
the
days
king
old.
of random facts.
Like I said, I saw it when you
Cheers,
did. Scoop.
Scoopy.
Yeah, like
Cheers,
the last day or
Scoopy.
so. Well done. Well done for bringing that up. Before we get on down to Green Tree, everyone having a good week?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go.
No one having any uncomfortable moments at all this week? Good. Glad to hear it.
Uncomfortable?
Good. I don't know. Hey.
I don't know what you described.
From the sound of the pregame talk here, the pre-show talk, I felt that there was probably a topic about this.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah.
We're just going to brush right past this.
Just brush right past it, Ro. Gotcha.
Yep,
No
yep,
problem. No
yep,
problem,
yep.
my brother. What do you say we go to Green Tree?
I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Line 72. Line 800.
Let's go.
All right, boys. It is week 8. Got a primetime matchup with the Clemson Tigers. First time that both these teams are matching up in a game where neither is ranked since 1953.
Really?
Yeah. Clemson leads this series all-time 7-6. Let me ask you this, and this is to both of you and even to Jenners if he wants to play along, because each of you are dads. How many kids did each of you have on October 2nd, 2010?
0.
I wasn't sure if you were 0. Yeah.
I had 1. Yeah.
Are we counting our stepkids? Or screw those guys?
Yeah, screw those guys.
Okay, then no. Then
Okay,
0.
so there you go. So there are now 4 new children that have never been alive for us to be Clemson. Our last victory was 2010, 30-21 at Death Valley, Randy Shannon versus Dabo Sweeney.
Dabo Sweeney's first year.
I think it was actually his second year.
Okay.
But yeah.
And they did not like that hire. I will tell you that
Oh
right
my
now.
did
gosh,
not.
remember
He was
that?
a wide receiver coach, right?
Yeah, wide receiver coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was on an
Yeah, they-
interim deal, and it came down to his last game. They decided to kind of, roll the dice. And
They
sometimes
hated that
patience
move up
wins.
there. They
Mhm.
hated
Yeah,
it.
they hated
Sometimes patience wins. I mean, sometimes you just got to be patient.
Do you want to hear the worst stat that I found? Because I'm starting to dive into these series now before every week.
I love
This is
I love
this is the most disturbing stat
give
that
me
I have
all-
found
yeah,
thus far.
Okay. Oh boy.
All right.
Uh-huh.
The Miami Hurricanes, our Canes,
Mhm.
have been outscored in the last 4 meetings 236-30. Two 36
Hold on a second.
to
Hold on.
30.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
What in the world is this?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. 236 divided by 4. No. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Is
4
it
meetings?
impossible?
It's impossible.
Did I do bad math?
Yes.
Did I really?
Yes.
Oh, fucking balls.
Yes.
Are
5?
you sure?
That's
Hmm?
59 a game.
Well,
No, it's not.
then-
Not 59. Well, it's close. It's probably like maybe it was like What the fuck? God damn it. Oh, good job, Toast.
Good job, Toast. That is some good.
No, I
detective
can't
work
even.
there.
I
shit
thought I
together.
bookmarked this shit. Yeah, apparently
Yeah,
not.
you know what?
Get your shit. Oh, here we go. All right, hold on. Here it is. Let's see. So we lost.
God almighty.
What I bring to the table, baby. That's what I bring to the
Well,
table.
nothing really good.
All right. So
So let's try to figure out the truth here.
we lost 58-0.
Ooh, okay.
So 58.
Yeah.
Plus 38.
Okay.
Plus 42.
Oh man. Okay.
Plus 40.
Wow. 178.
All right. So 178 to 23 or 30.
It's
whatever
still
the fuck it was.
45 a game.
Yeah.
We've given up 45 a game
Mhm.
to them in the last 4 meetings. To
Hey,
what?
when you were doing all that math, the only thing that registered in Rose brain, it was almost a million. It's like a million points to little points. That's how many points
Yeah.
they score.
So
religiously.
2015 was 58-0.
What
Then
did
it
we
was
score?
38-3. And then the closest game was Manny, 42-17. Remember that? That was the one where we had the defensive penalty on the first drive that gave them the first down, whatever. We were going to get them off the field. And then last year, Mario got rolled 40-10.
We have 30.
2015.
Yeah, we got
2015,
30.
that game. 58 to
30
nothing.
points.
Al Golden's last game. That was my kid's first ever Miami Hurricanes game ever.
We have 30 points the last 4 games.
Ever.
7.5 points a game.
And
God,
Clemson,
help
listen,
us.
defense still pretty good. I mean, top 4 in scoring defense, and they're number 1 in the conference in total defense. So, they're up there. Miami's number 1 in rush defense. Clemson's number 2 in rush defense. Something's going to give there.
Who's the jackass
hold
on the
on.
account that said North Carolina was better than Clemson?
Oh, I wonder who that could have been.
Actually, let me flip it. Miami's number 2 right behind Clemson's rush D. Clemson is number 1 in rush D, but it's by less than a yard.
Right.
So it's
but
close.
But the minute that, listen, I mean, the dude ran for 200 on us last week. So what's real? I mean, the rush defense against the non-ACC teams or the rush defense against the ACC teams?
I think there's 6 games. It's the stats are the stats. After half of the regular season is now behind us, the stats are the stats. Everybody's playing relatively the same schedule. Some people have played cupcakes, conference games, tough out of conference games. People want to keep knocking on Texas A&M. I still think Texas A&M is a talented squad. I mean, whatever their record's going to be, they're going to be bowl eligible. They might mirror us. They might be 8-4. We just happen to be the team to beat them. People try to play it out like they weren't a good team. They are a good team. I don't know why people want to say that. Miami of Ohio, obviously, and then we had a cupcake. So Toast with six games in the books. I think the stats are the stats. They speak for themselves. So I believe them.
The stats are the stats.
Mm-hmm. After 6 games, after 1 game and you played a cupcake and you didn't, but this is 6 games.
All
This
right.
is half the regular season behind us.
So you're saying they are who we thought they were?
Yes. Denny Green, 1,000%. Great callback. Good job.
All right. So I think actually one of us today did a little tweet out asking if anyone had any topics they'd like us to bring up for game day. And we got some responses to this.
Okay.
So let's go ahead. Let's talk about one that has been the talk of the town with Arroyo back in fully healthy. Do you guys see the tight ends being used in the offensive scheme?
No.
What
No.
the fuck?
Well, because I just said it. I said after 6 games, you are what you are.
But
After 6 games.
but he hasn't been playing.
Here's no. I'm like half and half with Roe here. I believe that. I believe that he's shown you, but I've also been told and I've heard much different that the tight ends are really good weapons in this offense. But after 6 games, they've got 6 catches. So you have 1 guy, is what you're telling me. Arroyo is the only guy who's capable of running anything in this offense productively. I don't know. That's the thing for me. I'm like, okay, so we ran a bunch of 10 set last week, right? 10 personnel. We had 4 wide. We ran a bunch of 4 wide against Georgia Tech too, and did nothing with it. Really, kind of. I mean, we did underneath, but so I'm kind of with Roe. Here. I know that Mario says Arroyo is going to be playing a ton, and I hope he does, because I would appreciate Tyler having the tight end involved, because as we know, when you have a good tight end involved, they can really help, right? I mean, that's like saying the stats are the stats. A good tight end really helps the quarterback. So
there's a couple things going on against the tight ends in structure. They use them a lot to kind of block first, then release. They use them a lot in the run game. In terms of checkdowns, like I said, they're doing everything they can to go ahead and make sure Tyler's upright. Tyler hasn't really taken a lot of sacks on the year, right? They have kept his jersey relatively clean. UNC got home a couple times. The other thing is, too, is because
had 18 pressures on him last week.
I just said, yeah, UNC got to him. Other than that, we relatively clean. So we'll see what happens. Now, Miami comes from behind in that one. They're down, right? So obviously you're in a lot more passing situations. So of course, expect more pressures to go up, especially when you're trying to play from behind. The other thing is when Xavier Restrepo is doing a lot of choice routes, right? In the middle of the field, option choice. He has many different directions he can go. He's in tight end land. So when he's been so surgical and so good, and despite him, that's their go-to guy. Even Dabo Sweeney this week says, yeah, he's going to look for X, right? He's going to look for Xavier Restrepo. It's where he operates, takes a lot of that space that tight ends like to work. That's why I try to be specific. If the tight ends can stay on the opposite side of the field or in the flats or can delay, I think you could, get them a lot more involved. We said it last week. I want to accentuate the wide receivers. I just don't want to amputate the tight ends to do it.
All right.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. This is from Michael Sarnoff. If you could suggest just one adjustment to each of our coordinators for this week, what would it be?
It's going to be kind of the keys to the game. I just gave you one. As far as the tight ends, use them on some delays where they're acting to block, then you release, but you're intentionally trying to target them. Michigan ran that play successfully in their Big Ten championship game against Iowa. I thought that was going to be the package that Gaddis brought in. He didn't. It's an effective play, getting them out in the flats. I think just getting the tight ends to get involved is one. Guidry on the other side, just making sure that our safeties are doing their responsibility. That would be what I suggest. Nothing. Listen, we gave up a lot of big plays in the secondary. You got to get those guys reined in. You got to get them back to what they were at the beginning of the season, and they can't revert to what they were last season.
All right.
And that's what I would suggest.
So forget the X's and O's shit. Let's get into the emotional aspect of things. From the fan base's standpoint, you're staring down a 3-game losing streak right now if you lose this one, and we'll move to, is it 0-6 at home in ACC play under Mario? I believe. I think he was 0-5.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Emotionally, from the fan base's standpoint, and obviously fan bases are not rational in any sort of a way, but they do play a role in all this. How big is this game? Like, how huge is this game after what happened against Georgia Tech that now you're looking at a 3-game losing streak? How important is it for them to get a W?
It's no bigger than last week's was. You
Really?
had to win. Yeah, you had to win last week's.
You didn't have to win last week to stop a 3-game losing streak.
Well, now you have to win this week. It's like, every week is like, if you lose the week before, next week's must-win game, or else us as a collective fan base, lose our shit. I gotta, I was thinking about this. Honestly, I'm thinking about this beginning of the week, and I'm like, and who said something too is Dabo said something about it, and he's absolutely right. We as fans, not just us, although we're kind of at the forefront, to be honest with you, but just fans in general, they expect you to win every game you play. If you don't win a game, you suck. If you don't win a game, your team's terrible. If you lose 2 in a row, holy shit, burn the program down. It's unbelievable. And it's all due to social media and instant this and instant that. And you see it with everybody firing coaches after 12 games. God forbid a coach goes, and I'll bring up, what's his name up in Tallahassee?
Norvell.
Norvell.
Who cares? Norvell. It's Norvell in Tallahassee. Okay? Norvell. Program. But this guy was dog shit. And they gave him time. And now he's not dog shit. right? I mean, it's like one of those things where sometimes you just have to, and you're going to lose, and you're going to fumble the ball, and you're going to throw interceptions, and you're going to miss tackles. I'm not saying be okay with it, but holy shit, people, like, you can't win everything, and you can't do everything perfectly all the time. That's not how this works.
Right. But now hold on. And I totally get, and I agree with what you're saying. But the reason why this is where it is going into this game isn't because they just lost a game. This is because the coaching staff showed complete incompetence on the field and did something that no fan has ever seen a head coach do before, and it cost them the game. And that's what has led to this point.
That's
if they had beaten Georgia Tech and then they lose to UNC, we're not having this conversation, Scoop. It's the fact that the head coach put his credibility on the line, and the fan base was like, bro, you're the emperor with no clothes on right now. Like, what are we doing here? They got everyone questioning, is this the right guy? Like the second time, Scoop, like that hasn't gone away. And so that's why we're here. So I understand what you're saying about the fan base, but the fan base was pushed to an extreme thing a couple of weeks ago.
I'm not saying
I get you, but that's why I'm asking about why this game is so important. Because listen, they're only looking at a 3-game losing streak, Scoop, because of the coaching staff. The team won 5 in a row.
Okay, and last year you could have said they were looking at a 3-game losing streak because the players didn't play well enough.
And I think we probably did.
I don't know if you did or not.
I mean, half the locker room quit. We talked about them. They quit against FSU.
So they probably didn't play well enough. So,
right.
I mean, you know,
this
I'm
game's
not saying
unique.
accept the mediocrity. And I said on Sunday too, like this is the same movie, man. It's Groundhog's Day, right? We lose that game just in ways that only we could lose that game.
My 2 cents to add with this game against Clemson. It's another ACC game, and it's almost like a Miami's in a no-win situation. Obviously, you can lose and you don't win that.
Well, because they haven't won an ACC game.
Well, here's the other part of the coin.
You win a game. You win an ACC
No,
game.
here's
That's
the
not
other.
true.
Here's no. Here's the other part of the coin. Because Clemson's already lost twice. If the University of Miami actually beats Clemson, that's just another ACC team. Clemson's down this year. So that's why I'm saying it's a no-win situation for the University of Miami. I just, that's the way I see it. Clemson's still a talented team. They still got a really, really good defense, but it's not like Clemson's coming in undefeated. And if Clemson comes in undefeated, Miami would have beat them, then it erases some of the stench in the rooms. Your buddy's fart in the backseat of your new car. It erases some of it. But now it's just like, oh, they beat a down Clemson team. Florida State beat them too. That's what happened.
Yeah, I guess I don't think Cane fans will care about that. They just want to be 0-3 in the conference.
I agree with that. I actually think it's the alternate of that. I think the alternate would be worse. I think the perception of Miami is worse if they lose to a Clemson team who's not very good. So I get what you're saying. If they beat them all, they weren't that good anyway. They were 4-2, and the quarterback isn't nearly as good as DJ was last year, and yada yada. But if I think they lose, I think the narrative, because you know how everyone likes to talk down on us, I think the narrative is, look at Miami. They got beat by a Clemson team who just isn't very good. Miami must be worse than we thought.
The narrative's going to sit like this week. The narrative's going to sit how they lose. It's just going to depend how they lose.
We're not losing.
All right, let's do the keys to the game.
We're not
Keys
losing
to the game.
Let's go.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So Miami has been dreadful in the red zone, dead last in the ACC. They need to do well in the red zone, convert in the red zone. Defense.
What, do you have a percentage on that?
Yeah, there was. Well, I was reading it. Yeah, it's awful. They're awful in the red zone.
You keep going, and I'll look that up.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, they're dreadful. Could maybe you want to use a tight end. I'm just saying. Defense. Listen, defense has been playing well, but we're at the point here when the defense goes out there, they need to get the football back from us. They need to create turnovers. And the last one is, I would love for this coaching staff to give the home crowd a chance to mockingly applaud and kneel down to end the game. That would make me happy.
That would make.
Those are my 3 keys to the game.
In terms of score percentage, Miami's red zone, they're actually 5th in conference at 20.
It's touchdown conversions in the red zone. They're dead last. They're settling for field goals and turnovers.
Touchdown conversions, I'm looking at that too, is 56.2. That's 8th in conference.
Yeah. So what I saw said that they were last.
Well, your
my
stat
awful
research is kind of sucky tonight, so I can't really go off what you're saying.
Go ahead, Scoopy.
Mm-hmm.
3 keys. Turnovers. We've had 9 the past 2 games. Look, I don't. Yes, okay, we won the first one, but maybe we shouldn't have. Maybe that's the football god saying, "I don't think you should have won this." 9 turnovers the last 2 games. You can't win. You can't win, especially in the conference. You can't win like that. Yeah, those have to be limited in a big way. The second one is you mentioned earlier that we're second in the conference in rush defense. Clemson is first within a yard, right? So essentially the same. That being said, that dude had 200 in between the guards last week. So if we can't stop them running the ball with Shipley in between the tackles, at least, we're going to have a tough time, right? So I think that we really need to shut down Shipley and stop the run. And thirdly, I don't know if I have a third.
Okay.
All right.
You have 2 keys. Doesn't have to be 3.
And
I
my
like those
stat
2.
is against ACC opponents.
Gotcha.
Red zone. Touchdown red zone conversion.
All right, so my 3 keys to the game. My first one is the University of Miami on defense. Do not take the flow bait. I got in trouble last year for making a comment that, when Clemson calls a ball game, especially on offense, they call a ball game in a particular way because they take advantage of University of Miami's over-aggressive and not so intelligent nature at times. Don't take the flow bait. They've been doing it to us for years, right?
Can I touch on that? We suck in zone, though.
I'm just telling you.
I'm telling you, we suck in zone.
I discipline. Key number 1, I discipline. Number 2.
If they can combine the 2 of them, that'd be really important.
Number 2, I know the turnovers are a thing, and I thought about this, and I've never heard anybody say this. We might be pioneering this on the Orange Bowl boys. The coaches can't fumble this week. Coach-assisted points. Let me explain to you how that looks like. So UNC gets on the field. They go with turbo tempo. We have no clue how to defend it for a better part of a few plays. They score on that drive. Your guys weren't prepared. That is a coach-assisted point. You fumbled the ball on that one. They come up to the line again inside the red zone. Muddle huddle. Go to an unbalanced line. You guys can't line up right. They go ahead. They score. Those are coach-assisted points. They're not prepared. The ultimate coach-assisted point was when you didn't kneel and then your guy fumbles the ball. Those are coach-assisted points. You get on your guys all the time for turnovers. You can't allow that to happen. You can't fumble the ball, especially against a good Clemson squad. And finally, to Tyler. What do we say to the God of death? Not today. Okay? What do I mean by that? You're coming under fire from the fan base. Either you're staring down a receiver, but the main one is your mentality. So what I'm saying is not today. When things don't go right on that field, I need you to say not today. I don't want to see a center come up and pull up your chin. Your chin already needs to be up. You need to be a good teammate this week. You need to keep that mentality. Don't change who you are. Nobody needs you. You don't get up too high. You don't get up too low, right? You don't. That's not who you are. And I'm not expecting that. However, not today. You're not going to do that today. You're going to pick up your teammates. You're going to do what you got to do. You're going to go ahead and you're going to say, hey, boys, we got this. You're going to be just a little bit more. I'm reminded of Tim Tebow, and this is totally off topic, but still on topic. Tim Tebow crying. Yeah, we're never going to lose a game. We're never going to do it again. Passionate. It was one of the better speeches I've ever heard. He said, not today. I need the University of Miami Hurricane quarterback to say, not today. And that's my 3 keys.